Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ali Plays, and today we're going to be doing a Dragon Champions video, and it's going to be about the tower, all about the tower. So it's a tower guide. So you unlock the tower at level 35, it's right here. So the tower is a mode similar to Galactic War. There are 12 floors. So Galactic War is from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I'm pretty sure there's other games that have a similar mode to the tower. There are 12 floors in the tower. See that? 1 to 12, and you have to use your entire roster to advance. I mean, you can probably beat it. If you have a very strong team, you can probably beat it with one team and get to the top, but for beginners, no, you're not going to be able to beat it with one team. So each floor gets progressively more difficult as you climb up. What's the purpose of this tower? The tower is designed to give you a challenge every 24 hours, so it gets reset every 24 hours. So 9 hours and 40 minutes, I can press that reset button, and it rewards you in the process. So it tests how deep your roster is and gives you an incentive to work on your heroes. So let's take a look at the rewards in the tower. So the rewards in the tower are no joke. You can get gold, draft coins, character shards, I think they call them hero stones in this game. And then you can get all 3 types of ability scrolls as well as mystery spears. They're right here. These are mystery spears up here.
Mission failed.
Oh, sorry, mystery sapphire. I don't know why I call them mystery spheres. So you can get mystery sapphires. So mystery sapphires are used in the tower shop where you can get hero stones as well. By using them, or you can get gear from it as well. So yeah, again, the tower consists of 12 floors. However, floors 3, 6, and 9 have branching optional bonus rooms. So you can choose if you want to take the challenge. But you gotta be careful though, because if your heroes die, they won't be usable in the tower until the tower is reset the next day. And these bonus rooms give great rewards, but they have restrictions. So on floor 3 and 6 is pretty simple, as you will always need clan heroes, and the other bonus room you'll need order heroes. So once you reach floor 9, you only need race-specific heroes, such as elves, humans, pandas, etc. So we're gonna jump right into it. I'll have this playing in the background while I'm discussing it. So the team that I like to use Hera. I would highly recommend you guys farm Hera. I think there's multiple nodes in the campaign. I think that early on you can farm her. She has a pretty good leadership ability. All allies from Pride gain 5% dodge. And when the battle starts, all allied Pride tanks gain taunt for 2 turns. So he is right here as a Pride tank, Salvador. Highly recommend getting him. You can get him from the arena store. And when the battle starts, all allied Pride healers and tacticians gain invisibility for 2 turns. So if you want to know who's in Pride, you can just click over here, filter it so it's Pride. So I don't have much Pride champions. I have Kagi.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So I don't technically use a full Pride team, but she's very powerful with Salvador because right in the beginning of the match, he's taunting right away, so it's very good. I like using this guy. I just unlocked Sanjiel. I got him to gear 5 already. And I like using Illyria as a healer. And you can either bring in another healer, or bring in a DPS champion. So a good DPS for me is this guy right here. So I'll throw this team in. So I'm gonna put this on auto while I discuss some more things regarding the tower. So let's talk about the difficulty. So floors 1 to 9 fairly easy if you're using your main team. So this is my main team, except I don't really use Corcoran that much. I like using 2 tanks, as I said, 2 healers and 1 DPS. Sometimes I bring in 2 DPS depending on what I need. Let's look at the rewards here. So we got the mystery sapphire, rare experience tomb, and we got some gold. Yeah, so I bring in 2 healers because I like to keep my main team at full health until I reach floor 12. So they always top off their health points. It's a very good strategy, but it can take a longer time to complete the floors. And floor 9 usually not a problem, but there's a chance you can encounter a team that has very good synergy, and that could make it more difficult. Should still be doable as I reached stage 12 on my first tower run. Once I was level 35, I reached stage 12 on my first tower run, but I couldn't beat it. I've actually never beaten it in a tower before, but this will be my first time. I was really close to actually beating it yesterday, but I ran out of teams. If I had one additional team, secondary good team, that I would have been able to beat it. So let's talk about floor 10 and 11. So these can equal or slightly exceed the power of your max team. So if you check on your team power, they can actually be equal to your team power or exceed it. And floor 12 is a huge challenge. The power of the team is 120% of your max power. So they're going to be higher power than you, and they're going to be very difficult. In the early game, you'll face some teams that are unbeatable. So just don't worry, we'll discuss some strategy later. Some things that people might ask is, why is my team hurt? So your character's status carries over from one battle to the next. This includes skill cooldowns, health, and permanent shields, not temporary ones. Oh, look at this. We got some hero stones right here. Voiren the Trickster. And we got Dracoins. So yeah, look over here, we got bonus room. We got the clans and we got the order. So you should be able to beat both of them. I would highly recommend doing it because the rewards are very good. So you can almost use the exact same team, we'll just throw in another healer. So why are the enemies hurt? So if, let's say you fail stage 12, the health of the enemies will carry over. So if you want to battle them again, you can do so. So you can use your entire roster, therefore you can attack some floors more than once. So if your first team fails, try another team, and then they'll have the damage that you have done, their skill cooldowns, everything carries over. Let's talk about some strategy right now. If you see the battle's not going well, you can leave the battle. So you can click up here, click leave battle, and then it will act like nothing has happened. And then you can just regroup and use a different set of heroes. So there's some strategies you can use. There's a glass cannon strat. So you can try taking in a pure glass cannon team and try to kill one enemy before they taunt, and then you die. This would usually be a pure DPS team with no taunter or healer. Another option is taking an AoE heavy team and clearing all of the shields off the enemy team. This can pave the way for either your main team or the glass cannon strategy. Yeah, you got some ability scrolls. We got 50 mystery sapphires, and then let's go into the order side. So it'd be the clans one. So we're going to use Dorian. Dorian is a good option because he has a leadership ability that is universal. So all allies gain 10% physical armor and 10% magic armor. We're bringing in 2 healers, Freezard, and let's bring in Eric's Shieldbreaker. And then another strat is if your team has skills on cooldown, so you can try taking a team of level 1, gear 1 allies, and then they will generally cause the enemy to spend all of their heaviest abilities and taunts, so they can waste all the cooldowns, and you can come in with your main team and not get hit with all those abilities. Another strat that I like to use is going after the taunting tank right away. So right when the battle starts, so that you can kill him as fast as you can. Because sometimes, or in the beginning of the game, you won't have enough DPS to kill a glass cannon, but you can start doing damage on the tank. All right, so now we're on stage 4. So I'll go revert to my old team, take out these guys. I can probably auto this team, but we're gonna try to preserve cooldowns as well. So this is one of my strats that I do. So they have Darian. Darian's probably gonna tank. So I'll just go after him right away to try to get rid of his shield and get him down as low health as I can. Okay, good. Say he's going to taunt. There we go, we got the Darian taunt. But it doesn't matter, now his health is really low. So that's a strat that I like to use. I usually go after Darian first because with the AI, Darian's always taunts. So this champion right here, he doesn't really taunt as much because he has a cooldown on his taunt. And now we're going to go after the DPS. So we're going to go after the AoE DPS. And we're going to try to top off the health of our allies as much as we can. So we'll use this ability right here, Regeneration. That's taunt. Okay, the issue was she had dodge on her. So we should be able to kill her fast now. And now we're going to go out for the single target DPS. The reason why I don't like going after the healers first is because they don't do much damage. I know that they heal the allies, but near the end of the battle you can use them to increase your cooldowns. And then they can be ready for the next fight. And then I like to top off my champions as much as I can. So I'll use this ability right here because I don't want to deal too much damage on her. See? Yeah, so everybody now is full HP, ready for the next fight, and then their cooldowns are reset. Alright, we'll just do stage 5, and then I'll discuss some champions that are very good for tower, for beginners. So yeah, strat, go after Darian. And the reason why I don't taunt with him first is because Salvador automatically has taunt on because of Hera's leader ability. The good thing about the team we're facing, they don't have any healers. One more shot. Okay, he's down. And then now we can taunt. So his taunt is off, and now we can taunt with him. And we're going to go after Friezard. Actually, we should go after him, Tromgar, because he is going to taunt. So I'm going to only discuss champions that are good for early game. So the ones I discuss doesn't mean that they're going to be good late game. So Darien, he is a low tier champion, but he has a universal leader skill, and he can be used as a tank on any team. Just make sure to place artifacts for tanks on him, or runes. I don't know what they call. I call them artifacts. I guess I'm used to race Shadow Legends. So his taunt is pretty good. I only have it at level 2. He gains taunt and armor increase for 2 turns, and he removes 1 debuff. So he's a good choice. That's the only thing he's good for in this fight. And his aura skill, allies gain, we're on here. Allies gain 10% physical armor and 10% magic armor. I'm probably not even going to upgrade any of these abilities. So if you look at Hera, click find, you can see that she is farmable in Dawn of the Order 4.12, Rage of Clans 4.6, and Invasion of Demons 2.6. So you have 3 farming locations for her, and they can be unlocked pretty early on in the game. So I would highly recommend farming her. You can put her as a priority to farm. So she is very good. Her leadership ability, I think I already read it to you guys before, but partner her up with Salvador and you shouldn't have any problems. Also, she has a passive ability, Cat Stealth. If Hera doesn't take damage for a turn, she gains invisibility for 1 turn and recovers 25% of the turn meter at the end of her next turn. 20% if it's at level 4. But when maxed out, it's going to be a 30% turn meter at the end of her next turn. Oasis Shadows is very good too. She gains a dodge increase and crit chance increase and applies both to 1 ally for 2 turns. All other allies gain invisibility for 2 turns and applies crit chance increase for 2 turns. And this ability right here, so these 2 abilities are very good together. So the way that you use Hera is you make sure you use your basic attack 4 times or 3 times before you use your A2 ability, her shred ability. So her basic attack, when maxed out, deals 250% of physical damage to an enemy, and then Hera gains a combo effect for 4 turns. So these are basically stacks on her. So usually when it's 3 turns or 4 turns, I use it. I use her A2 ability, her shred ability. This effect cannot be prevented or removed, so they're talking about her stacks. They cannot be removed unless you use this ability. So this ability, when maxed out, deals 300% of physical damage to an enemy and removes all combo stacks from Hera. And then she deals an extra 40% physical damage for each stack removed. So yeah, she is very, very good, very powerful champion in stealth. And I got the crit chance runes on her. The way that you build her is crit damage and crit chance. And try to make her fast as well. So let's talk about Tromgar, who's basically, I think, Dwayne The Rock Johnson because of his abilities right here. Where is it? Shield of the People. I don't know if that was intentional, but I think that he's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson from the Scorpion King movie, even though he's an orc in this one. So this guy is very, very good. He's like a S tier for me. So he's an orc champion. He's a defender. His basic attack, he maxed out, deals 200%, 10% of physical damage to an enemy and 35% chance to stun the target for 1 turn. So this stun is very good, synergizes very well with his taunt, because once you upgrade it to level 4, he starts getting a counterattack on himself. So I would highly recommend trying to get his counterattack on his taunt. So he assumes a defensive stance. Another use of the ability switches to offensive stance. So when you use it, he keeps switching between offense and defense. And then the effect cannot be prevented or removed. Changing stance applies taunt for 2 turns and a counterattack for 1 turn. Second wind, so he gains regeneration stack for 2 turns and it removes 1 debuff. And if you max that out, he gains 2 generation stacks for 2 turns, so he's going to be very hard to kill, and removes all debuffs and recovers 10% health. So this guy is very, very good. Highly recommend getting this guy as soon as you can. When in defensive stance, this is a passive ability. His physical armor increases by 30%. When he's in offense, his physical damage increases by 30%. And his leadership ability, maxed out, all allied orcs receive 30% potency increase and 30% tenacity increase. Whenever an allied orc inflicts a debuff on the enemy, all orcs recover 5% of the health for each debuff inflicted. So that can be very good. So highly recommend getting this guy. He's very, very good for the tower. He basically carries me through, him and Salvador and Hera. And let's look at some healers. Healers are very important for the tower, so you should not slack off in gearing them. Illyria is one of the heroes that you get in the beginning of the game. So I would highly recommend working on her and try to get this heal as high level as you can in the beginning. I think level 3 should suffice. That's what I'm using it at. So she heals allies for 200% of her magic damage. So trying to get her some magic damage on the runes. And gear 5 is okay. It's not that hard to get the gear 5. And the other abilities are just bonus, but this ability right here, try to get it as high as you can and try to get her some speed as well. So Mortha, she's going to be needed if you want to enter the bonus rooms for the clans. She is the only healer, I believe, for clans. And you should upgrade her chain healing ability. So she heals the target ally by 260% of her magic damage, then chains to 2 lowest health allies, and heals the first ally by 195% and second ally by 130 of her magic damage. So this heal can be quite powerful when maxed out, but I'll just get it to level 3. And then she also has a good ability right here, Personal Curse, where she gives a random ally shield equal to 165% of her magic damage. Senjil is very good. You can actually farm him. Invasion of the Demons 1-9. We're actually going to do this. There we go. I just got one hero stone. Yeah, you can farm him in Dawn of the Order and Rage of the Clans. Those are pretty far into the game. But you can farm in the first chapter of the Invasion of Demons. So you can get him from there. So in the beginning, I didn't really like this guy. His popularity is pretty low, but he is actually a pretty solid healer. The reason why I found out he was a good healer is because I faced him in one of the campaign missions, and it was hard to kill their tank because he kept applying regeneration on them. So the abilities are very good for the tower with him is natural regeneration. I mean, he's not a high tier character, but I'm talking about tower in terms of tower. So he applies 2 stacks of regeneration to the 2 lowest health allies for 2 turns, and 1 stack of regeneration to the 1 lowest health ally for 2 turns. And then he also has another heal ability. So this is actual heal, not a passive heal. So he heals the target by 320% of his magic damage, and he applies regeneration for 2 turns. So yeah, try to get that to level 3, level 4 if you can. And then everything else is just bonus. He has a passive ability. He gets 4% magic damage increase for each regeneration stack on allies. So that is very good, synergized with his healing. And Sunshine, where he basically just deals damage and puts burning on an enemy. Yeah, so I would highly recommend getting him. All of the other champions are okay, I guess. But those ones are for me, are like the main ones you should go after. Rantha is a good choice as well because she has her, Battle Poo? That's her bear. So she can summon him to taunt. So if you don't have another tank, you can go for that. If you don't have Salvador or Tromgar, you can use Darien and Rantha. If you're looking for some DPS champions, I would get Korkrim. I like Korkrim if you level up his storm ability. It's like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You can stun. If you max it out, he has a 50% chance to stun for 1 turn, so he attacks all enemies. So he has a 50% chance to stun all enemies for 1 turn. And if enemies are stunned, he can deal more damage. And he can also afflict burning. He has more potency on his passive. Yeah, so he's a good AoE damage dealer. Another one is Fao. Fao is pretty good for early game. Not much in late game. Freezard, you can get him from the $2.99 pack. He's a pretty solid champion, especially if there's one enemy that you want to kill, but then the taunt comes up and he has a sliver of HP left. He'll use his AoE and destroy him. Yeah, so these are some of the champions that are good for tower that I recommend. So Salvador, you can get him from the arena store. Highly recommend saving all your tokens and going after this guy until you unlock him. Try to get him as much stars as you can. I got him at 4 stars. So he's really good because he can gain shield equal to 10% of his max health on his basic attack. So that is good. He has a taunt. So he deals 320% of his physical damage to an enemy and gains taunt. So this move hits pretty good. What makes him really good is a Steel Shell. He gains Steel Shell for 2 turns. And that decreases all damage taken by 90%. That's almost 100% of the damage. And then he has a 30% chance to gain debuff immunity for 2 turns. Yeah, if you max that out, this ability is very, very powerful. But in the beginning, you're not going to be able to max it out. So level 3 is okay for now. And then his passive ability, he gains 15% physical armor at level 3. No, 10% physical armor at level 3. And when maxed out, he gains 35% physical armor and an additional 5% for each living Pride character in the party. So I highly recommend getting this guy. He synergizes very well with Hera because she's going to allow him to taunt right in the beginning of the match. The team that you saw me using, that's the team that takes me all the way to stage 12. And obviously there are better combinations. For sure there are better combinations. But this composition is early game and free to play friendly. So overall, my thoughts on the tower is it's a fun challenge. I personally enjoy seeing how much stronger my team gets every single day. And it can take a while to clear, but the rewards are worth the effort. And once you clear it 150 times, you will be given the option to simulate or auto-complete the tower and giving you all of the awards. So I'm hoping today will be my first completion of the tower. So if you would like a written version of this guide, be sure to check out beadc.info. I will have that posted right here and post it in the description. So You will find a lot of helpful information on many aspects of the game on Dragon Champions. He's also a great guy, so you guys can go check out his website. And if you guys found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, make sure you guys drop a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you guys are new to the channel and you like what you see, then definitely hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, enable notifications so YouTube knows you want to stay up to date on all my latest content. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.